Welcome and hello, hello and welcome, welcome and hello, hello and welcome, guys. Welcome and hello, hello and welcome. Thank you for joining me on an extremely exciting edition of Un Poco Moss, the show where we give you just a little bit more, guys. Just going to do a quick one. I know I always say that and then go on for an hour. Hopefully that won't be the case this time because I am just really tired and I got things to do. And I got the greatest of the great Princess J to see. Got to get home and take care of the fam. But guys, I want to take care of my tiny wang returder internet family, and that of course is you guys. Fat Jesus loves you. But anyway, guys, it's Un Poco Moss. They call me cornbread because I'm moist, doughy, and I crumble under pressure. They call me the tugboat. They call me Tabasco Rojas. I don't know why. It's some stupid thing I made up. They call me all sorts of other names, but there is no they. They are only the voices in my head, guys. So welcome and hello. Hello and welcome. Thanks for joining me, everybody. It's Un Poco Moss. Of course, it's Un Poco Moss, guys. Who else would say welcome and hello so many times? Where else are you going to find a chubby guy online on YouTube? Very few fat people on here. No, there's tons of fat people. Fat people love activities that involve like a lot of video editing. Hey, honey, I'm just going to edit video for like 8 hours, maybe have a couple of burgers, plow through a 12-pack of Mountain Dew. Like the fat ninja guy. He's one of my favorites from those web redemptions. Anyway, guys, welcome and hello, hello and welcome. Let me hit you with a little Shift F6 and share my screen with you. So Nvidia, reminds me of the, star. Help us, Obi-Wan, you're our only hope. Like, help us, Jensen, you're our only hope. And Jensen answers, Jensen delivers. Dude is a absolute fucking stud. I mean, that's really all I can say. The guy is nails. He's got the toughness of like a Lenny Dykstra with the, charisma. No, I don't know. That guy in Philip Seymour Hoffman's character in Along Came Polly. Like, aren't you that kid from Goddamn Right I Am? Anyway, guys, I have no idea what I'm talking about. I'm extremely tired. I started working about 3 o'clock this morning. Really haven't had a break. Other than to do that last stupid IOVA video, but guys, strong by IOVA, strong by prop. Even if you take the dilution out, even if you take all the possible dilution out, the price action on some of these names does not make any sense. And that's why you go through a stock like IOVA and you're like, why was Goldman buying this at 12? Or why was BlackRock buying this so heavily at 6? Why was Vanguard buying this at 12? And right now it's, 225. It's because there's a 31% short on the stock. It's because mechanics move prices completely disconnected from any type of fundamentals, and they can do it with very high insider ownership on a penny stock. Penny stock you can move with very little money, but your little tiny Willie is writing a check maybe your ass can't cash. And that, I think, is the case with IOVA because these guys have workable, viable cures for cancers, solid tumors. It's a novel thing. It works. They have tons of stuff in development. This wasn't an IOVA video. I'm sorry. I'm going on a rant because I just bought a bunch of that today. So I'm trying to pump it subconsciously. I didn't even mean to. What's going on? The great Not a Lurker has joined us. Of course, the great J Money. Let's see. Sorry, guys. So I want to send a shout out, of course, the greatest of the great, the greatest of the great, Princess J. I'm not talking to you, Not a Lurker. You're pretty great, though. You're pretty great. So thank you, Not a Lurker. Who else here? The great Carl Seamark. Yeah, Carl Seamark. That's when hell done froze over. PayPal's actually up. 321. Let's Poco indeed, guys. The great Emilio Aguilera, White Sensation 0101. Carl Seamark, Fee-Fi Fo-Fum, he smells in Poco Moss. You can definitely smell me coming. Yeah, just a quickie, Emilio. We're just going to get into the tip of this broadcast, just the tip, and then we're going to leave you wanting more, as we so often do. Let's see what else is going on here, guys. Yeah, the great Princess J says hello to you turds. I don't have any filtered tap water. I might have some bottled water. So anyway, guys, let's talk about Nvidia. So Supermicro is popping up about 6% after hours. I expect Nvidia will go back up 7-8%, including this action, maybe close to 10%, because it's really pretty impressive. I think a lot of people expected them to miss, and they didn't beat by that much on EPS, but they beat pretty handily on revenue, and more importantly, guidance. I mean, 66% year-on-year growth in the data center business. I don't know what else to say. And you're talking about GAAP and non-GAAP. You look at their gross margins, Nvidia. I'm not talking about Supermicro, of course. I wish, Frank Hoffenheimer. But Nvidia's GAAP and non-GAAP gross profit margins are like 73%. I mean, come on. It's absolutely, they have magic beans. Like, they have magic. These processors are magic. Let's see. Oh, I'm getting caught. I'm getting caught for something. I'm getting jammed up here, guys. Andy Sipowicz style. You watch NYPD Blue. You looking to jam me up for stealing money from them nuns when I was on the job drinking? Nah, Sipowicz, I didn't even know about that. He's like, never mind, boss. Just slinks away. It's just, every time he calls him in, he might just be asking him about a case or just how's he doing. He's like, you looking to jam me up for extorting those school bus drivers back in the 1980s when I was working traffic duty, huh, boss? That what this is? Some kind of witch hunt? He's like, no, Sipowicz, I just wanted to congratulate you on your recent promotion. Like, oh, thank you, boss. Thank you. Dennis Franz. They're like, I don't know, like these weird dudes monopolize the Emmys forever. It's like Dennis Franz and then Bryan Cranston. And who else do you have in there? I don't know. There's some other people in there. Maybe some of those, like that House guy, Peter Lorre. That's pretty impressive, though, because I think he's actually a Brit. I always find it impressive when I find out these guys are like fully like British and they have a full British accent, but they just sound like even more American than most Americans. If that makes any sense. So enough about me talking about stuff, but I expect Supermicro should move up twice as much as Nvidia, because Nvidia is already fairly priced. Plus, Supermicro's priced half of what it should be, at least half. It should even be more. The only way is if you didn't believe the guidance, and the only way to not believe the guidance is if you don't believe the demand. And Jensen just slapped you upside the head, an open hand Archie style slap. And he said, demand is absolutely off the charts. It's like everything is sold out. He's like, the cloud processors are completely sold out. So not only like SMCI can sell their whole allocation, HPE can sell their whole allocation, and Dell can sell their whole allocation. And because demand and scarcity, they are going to make better margins, because it's not going to be a question of necessarily competing on a cost basis. It's going to be who is actually going to get SMCI to show up and build these things. It might actually be kind of a shoe is on the other foot scenario, where they don't have to bid quite as low because the demand is absolutely off the charts. And I know that might sound, stupid, but it isn't. Margins are going to go up, even if it's slight, And they're talking about the next generation of processor as soon as next year. So Nvidia, stellar Q3 and sold out Blackwell signal explosive AI demand. The whole reason the market is coming down and, Palantir, it's all this thing that they're talking about, an AI bubble. What if it's not an AI bubble? What if it's a real revolution? What if it's a real paradigm shift? What if AI is going to provide even more productivity and unlock more profit and more possibilities than we could even dream of at this point? Because I think that's the reality. I think the internet and smartphones are all they're amazing, and they unlocked a tremendous amount of capability, and they changed our daily lives. They changed the whole way businesses operate, people operate. They changed everything. But now you're going to fully realize that potential of being digitally connected, and that's called AI. It's like the phone, it tells you what time it is. It lets you get your email. It lets you get directions. It lets you get a bunch of stuff on one device you could already do. But AI changes, opens up so many other things that you never even thought you could do. These very time-consuming things, putting, reports together, itineraries, plans. It can, for people who really know how to use it, it's a complete game changer. But much like the internet revolution, you had to pick winners and losers. Do you pick Yahoo or do you pick Google, back in the day? Do you pick Hood or do you pick SoFi right now? I'm just giving examples, not necessarily, do you pick Palantir or do you pick IBM? I mean, I don't know. Probably Palantir. My point is, there's so many things that go into this. Valuation, there's winners and losers, there's who is actually investing in areas where they're going to realize, returns from that investment, and who's just basically throwing money away to say that they're, pushing this capex and pumping the stock price temporarily, but maybe they don't have a real plan for what to do with these data centers long term. Like everyone else is spending, we've got to spend. We've got to spend now, or else they're going to cut our budget, like a baseline budgeting scenario. Anyway, I have no idea what I'm talking about. Let's see. The great Paul Gardner is here. The great Paul Gardner from the Rockford Files. Welcome and hello, sir. Welcome and hello. Yeah, no, Paul, I think SoFi could get 30 tomorrow. I know that sounds crazy, but this stock wanted to move up past 32 on earnings. That earnings was absolutely phenomenal. The only thing dragging this whole market is this quote unquote AI bubble. And yes, some of these companies like Palantir, there was no way to justify that valuation. I think, as much as Carp is like indignant and talking, this and that, and we got the greatest earnings report in the history of the world. I'm sorry, sir. But Jensen, you can't even hold a candle to Nvidia. I mean, they earned their market cap. They earned their valuation. The growth is staggering. The profit margins are staggering. Is just, I've never seen anything like this in my life. It's an incredible company. I wish I owned more. I mentioned I was buying Nvidia today. I was buying Nvidia yesterday. I don't have a tremendous position. I have, a decent sized position. Kind of for my portfolio, it's like a mid-sized position. Manageable, ladies, a manageable position. Anyway, what's going on, guys? Hope everyone is good. Jean-Paul K. I mentioned SMCI. Jensen would have been nice. Yeah, I don't know. I think they got to get the new CFO. I think they got to get some accounting stuff really squared away before he necessarily wants to, emphasize that relation. I don't know if it's that, but it's just maybe there's just no real reason to mention SMCI. But SMCI is a key partner deploying this stuff. There's really no doubt about it. So I confidently maintain a strong buy on Nvidia. Despite the concerns about valuation AI bubble, Nvidia earnings outpaces its stock price, resulting in a lower forward PE and strong justification for a continued rally. So the world's largest company just released quarterly earnings. The stock's coming off 3 months of sideways movement and a 14% drop off its October 29th high. So it's, dropped like crazy. Concerns about Google, OpenAI, Chinese models, all these other things. Furthermore, at the macro level, sentiment around artificial intelligence was already skyrocketing. The U.S. stock market was riding a wave that's seen the S&P 500 and NASDAQ rise to all-time highs. Fed Jerome Powell changed the game, stating that December cut was not a foregone conclusion. Fast forward today, results are so important because Nvidia is not just a stock, but it's basically the true market driver, higher market cap than many S&P 500 sectors. So every word management said is basically, weighted on, tooth and nail, and everybody's obviously tuned into anything that happens, anything Nvidia says. The quarterly results were solid. The company raised guidance. I confidently maintain a strong buy rating. You can see, guys, this is crazy. These beats. I mean, quarterly revenue versus guidance. I mean, it's just absolutely disgusting how they're able to turn in these beats. I mean, you see the beats down here back Q1 2024 is just barely and then consistently beating quarter after quarter after quarter. I mean, these guys are even more impressive than SoFi. and that's I'm saying that tongue in cheek. This is the most impressive company I've ever seen in my life, quite frankly. The financial results they're turning in is just, I don't know. It's like superhuman type of stuff. So the initial after hours reaction was 4%. Now it's pushing up more like 6%, which I think is probably more appropriate because I think honestly a lot of people thought they were going to miss. So the revenue 57 beat by 2 billion, or a little less than 2%. It's not a huge beat. EPS, but expectations are high. Like they're not giving them any types of free passes on these guidance. So consensus revenue was at 61 and there came in at 65, and then non-GAAP margins predicting 75%. gross margin. It's just unbelievable. How can you not want to own this company? I don't care about the multiples because it's not slowing down, it's speeding up. That's what's then they can pump the brakes and wring their hands and short stocks and dump shares and try to produce whatever type of false narrative they want. But the reality is, who do you want to own? Do you want to own Meta or one of these that may pay off, or do you want to own a company like SMCI that's trading at way under last year's sales, and their sales are about to they're not about to explode, they're going to continue to explode. I mean, given what they're talking about demand, they're saying at least 36. I would be buying SMCI right now, hand over fist. I mean, I'm buying, Leaps, I'm buying SMCX, I'm all in. But I was doing that today before I even knew about these results. So I guess I was taking a massive chance, but I didn't think Nvidia was going to miss. If they did, not by much. But even any miss would have been punished. I think we know that. Because the shorts and the bears, they had the articles ready. They had the hit pieces ready. Oh, Nvidia, they only grew 60%, not 66%. Like, important point, data center, 51, excuse me, increased revenues by 51.2 billion or to 51.2 billion. Don't look at the number of the magnitude itself. Look at the pace. Year-over-year growth, 66%, meaning larger customers haven't slowed down demand as everyone thought. In fact, they've continued to buy overwhelmingly. Blackwell sales are off the charts and cloud GPUs are sold out, said Jensen. Compute demand keeps accelerating and compounding across training and inference, each growing exponentially. We've entered the virtuous cycle of AI. The AI ecosystem is scaling fast with more and more foundation model makers, more AI startups across more industries in more countries. AI is going everywhere, doing everything all at once. The CEO directly described the demand for AI models as off the charts. I have to admit, this made me smile, blah, blah, blah. But net margins remain high, 55% means NVIDIA. And that's why, most people are like, oh, aren't they going to take the box business from SMCI? I don't think they want to deploy this. I don't think NVIDIA wants to send technicians all over the world, connecting cables and apologizing to people and, buying sandwiches and bagels and coffee for everybody. If anybody need coffee, I'm going to make a run. Who's that? Well, that's the SMCI guy. Jensen doesn't want to be buying coffee for people. The guy's all about leather jackets and power moves. Okay. I was very concerned about China. We're talking about 15% of the company's total revenue. It's all going to work itself out. I don't think the Chinese want a war any more than we do. Wars don't really help anybody. Ask the Russians how their economy is doing. I'll summarize everything here. I don't want to go through this whole thing, but you understand basically, it's not just the beat. It's not just the, top and bottom. It's the fact that they're raising guidance. It's the fact that they're saying demand is basically completely off the charts, beyond where anybody wants it. What the heck? Ooh. Oh, okay, sweet. Guys, I'm getting information hot off the presses. I'm getting information from Princess J. I'm getting information from Not a Lurker. I have many sources, guys. You're talking about families. Do you deal in credit cards? Do you bet exactas? Do you deal in parlays? Teasers. Would you like to place a 10-team teaser and buy 4 points? Would you like to go down to Caliente and get your hands broken by one of the bouncers down there by name of Jaime? Okay, let's not talk about the difficulties I may or may not have had in Tijuana over the years with my credit situation. Yeah, I completely agree with the great Paul Gardner that SoFi is going back over 30. Let's see. Steve in the Mountains is here. Is it true that you're moving to New Hampshire? Yeah, I'm going to basically do the Appalachian Trail. I do, go up and down once a day. I get started in Florida. I end up in Maine. Go back by afternoon. I'm back down in South Carolina. Oh, I don't know. New Hampshire. Live free or die. What's going on? Doing well. SoFi 30 would be pretty insane, but it sounds insane. But if the sell, you got it, Paul. This is just my sense, and I'm probably, I'm a homer. I'm a pumper. I'm a simple guy. I'm a knuckle dragger. I'm a caveman. I just like to buy low and sell high and pump the hell out of these quality securities. But I'm looking at it like these sellers, they were basically waiting for the economy, the market to fall apart, recession. That's the only reason you're dumping SoFi in the 25s right here. After there was a ton of buying pressure for that ER, pushing it over 31, 32. Every time, and this is 6 tests of SoFi off the 25 to 26 area since it touched 30. And that was pre-ER. Remember when it just touched 30, just kissed it, just tickled its bulls, a little bit, just took 30 by the old apple bag. And no, so I know, guys, I know stock prices don't have testicles. I know that. But go with me on this. No, but like, so then I could pull up a chart, but what's the point? You guys know this stuff. So it's tapped off that area 5, 6, 7 times. It's clearly there's no sellers down there, and the only people pushing it down are mechanic hack shorts. I mean, you see the short interest go up, not on the back of that ER, not on the back of these numbers. SoFi is going to be a huge company. It is. I mean, I have almost no doubt about it. Nodo is inevitable. Nodo is like the power of a glacier. You're not going to stop it. It might not move as fast as a sports car or a cheetah, or a shooting star, but by God, you ain't going to stop it. I don't care if conditions get rough. I don't care what happens. I mean, Nodo was built for this. Like the fact that he's not some long-haired, hipster punk. I like that. The fact that he's a seasoned, finance professional, multiple stints at Goldman. He knows how the system works. He can play the system. He can get the best deals. He can get the best financing. He can get these, what do you call it? Cap call deals for, finance the company, minimal dilution, minimal impact to shareholders. I mean, you haven't heard that much about stock-based compensation because it hasn't been growing, nominally as they continue to scale the company. So all these items get less and less proportionally. SoFi is absolutely crushing it, like big pun. Nodo is a player and he crushes a lot. I haven't spoken with Mrs. Nodo, but certainly a handsome couple. Let's see. I have no idea what I'm talking about. So anyway, competitors, go through the Nvidia report, but you can just see what it's doing to the overall market after. I mean, even penny stocks are up. Like SoFi was up, almost 3%. I mean, I say up. Now it's up even more, 27.71. So a whole dollar after hours. But watch them to try to step on it again. But SoFi, I honest to God think if the market really starts to move up tomorrow, like I think it will, because the AI trade is intact and now the narrative is going to be the AI trade is going to accelerate. And that's going to go back through tech. Google's already been running. I mean, they've been beating the hell out of Microsoft. That's going to want to run. They've been, pushing down Meta again. That's going to want to run. Okay. So I think there's a lot of, elasticity in this market to still, a lot of upside here coming into the Santa Claus rally. And I don't know about the Santa Claus rally. I just got a beard and I'm fat. Okay. So SoFi up 3.6. Let's just take a look at a couple of these other turds we cover. We already saw Super Micro was up like 5.8. So that's pretty good. Where's Nvidia sitting? We could take a look, like just out of curiosity, like there's some other names. Could just take a look what it's doing with Palantir, up 4% after hours. So that could be a nice reversal for the Palantir stock. Him all the way up, of course, over like 210. And then, so Palantir has retraced like really quite a bit there. I talk about sort of that magic 20% healthy retracement. When you go up to like 210, healthy retracement would have been like $42. So it's fallen a bit more than that. But I still think unless Palantir drop down below this sort of 156 area, it's going to be just fine. And it's going to, you're going to see more upside. Because this is not like, oh, this thing's fallen back off a cliff or anything. It came down to this exact level here, basically here. It's been down near this level a number of times, like 171. So you see with this recovery from Nvidia, it kind of recovered that key level here that's functioned as support 1, 2, 3 times, made a big move, 4 times, big move. So if it can come back here, I think Palantir probably has some upside. It's probably going to get moving again because you've seen like a 25% retracement off the highs, and their earnings reports are very, very impressive. I just can't justify the multiple. I mean, I personally can't buy the stock even, I don't even think I could buy the stock at 150. I should, but I'm like, I listen to myself, and that's my problem. So I'm a big jerk. That's why I sold all my shares between like 18 and 19, made 100% profit, and thought I was the bee's knees. But I was the coolest kid in school. Good for you, Emilio. Need SoFi after hours or not? Don't care. Why the hell am I saying this nonsense? The internet when people like, no, will steal my social security number. Yeah, no, he's running a massive identity theft ring. No, it's not the case, Emilio. We're not that kind of channel. This isn't the Hood channel. It's a SoFi channel. We help you get your money right, not help you steal your money. Anyway, let's see what's just going on with Hood. Let's see what's going on with a couple of these companies. If we choose, yeah, Hood. So it's up about 4%. It's kind of similar with the other fintechs. So the difference is Hood was up a lot today already. Robinhood will deliver cash to your door. CEO explains why. Oh my God, I'm so sick of this guy. This looks little freaking, looks like that. What's that guy? There was like that X thing. There's like, I can't remember. Guy Fawkes or something. Well, I can't remember this. Some guy wore like a pirate hat. He looks like that guy. They offer that action at Robinhood. Payush definitely bought SoFi. He was loading the boat. Let's see what this bit miner did. It's kind of interesting. Okay. I mean, it was down another 10%, but at least it recovered 30. I mean, where everybody and their brother was telling you to buy anything under 60. So you only lost half your money at this point. People have no idea what they're talking about, guys. I'll just tell you that. Everyone online starts telling you to buy this stock, Ethereum treasury under 30, and they start telling you that there's going to be some magic seance spell cast if they hit 5% of the Ethereum. It's a bet on the value of Ethereum. That's what these are. I mean, that's what MicroStrategy is. They're not going to, nothing magical is going to happen. This can lose value. Even if they own 5% of it, it can still lose value. They don't take some magical control of the means of production or anything. I don't know. Would I buy it here? Yes, because I did. But I don't know. I bought some in the low 30s. I bought some today more in the 20s. So I don't know. I'm not buying a ton, but I own quite a bit of Bitcoin now. I just bought quite a bit of Bitcoin today at like 89,000. So I'm not like a huge crypto guy, but I don't have a problem having maybe 5 to 10% of my portfolio in crypto. Nothing crazy, but I don't want to push it over 10%. Like I said, penny stocks, I don't go over like 2-3% of my portfolio because I know I'm going to lose that like an idiot. But anyway, yep, Jensen indeed saved the holidays. Nvidia saved Christmas. I got a lot of good ones today, Payush. How are you, Payush? Coming straight out of Memphis, Tennessee. Gaten, yo, what do you expect for SMCI in the next 3 to 6 months? Well, next 3 months, we're going to get another ER. So what are we going to see? I mean, I think we could see 10 billion in sales. If we see 10 billion in sales and margins just hold steady, I think you're looking at a $75 stock. I know that sounds outlandish given the fact that it's sitting here in the low 30s. I get it. It sounds crazy. But I think this is suppressed beyond anything reasonable. And it was like their demand is going to slow, their market share is going to slip, their profit's going to go away. I think the opposite's going to happen because demand is off the charts for what they do now that Blackswell's out, and they've got another one coming out in a year, another line of processors apparently, which will probably push back a little bit, but maybe early 2027. They said Q3 of next year. Federa Lee or something. Tom Ford. Vlad is better than Nodo. I get, yes, as a founder. I mean, Nodo is not a founder of this company. Nodo is a hired gun. It's like, I guess it's kind of like saying, an artist is better than a scientist. They're two very, very different people. For me, long term, I'd rather have Nodo. For me, long term, I'd rather own SoFi, particularly at current valuations, but also just in general, because I believe SoFi is going to do very, very well in all markets, and I think Hood could be in a lot of trouble if crypto really were to fall off a cliff, like not like this, but like really fall off a cliff, like not a correction, but sort of a rejection. Then I think Hood would be in big trouble, but I don't see that happening, which is why, again, I did buy some of the dip on Hood as well. I like to spread things around. I really like fintech. It doesn't mean I only like SoFi. I own a little bit of PayPal. I hate to admit it, but I bought it like a 50 when Tanner and Steve were talking about it some time ago, and I flipped most of it. But I always hold on to a little bit just to track my position, see what's going on. But anyway, yeah, you can't argue with Vlad, Travis Murphy. Vlad has been crushing it. Just yeah, the performance of Hood and all the products they introduce and all the growth and the growth rates of these various segments, it speaks for itself. The guy's on fire. So I personally am a Nodo guy. He's my biological father, so that gives me sort of a connection, if you will. But no, I can't argue with your point that Vlad has been on a tear. 80 billion market cap, currently only 20 billion. I mean, it was up there. It was up there. It's a $150 stock. What crushed this stock, why it's not up here with all this other AI stuff, is just the accounting stuff. I mean, they shot themselves in the foot. It's all self-inflicted. Their salespeople got greedy. They tried to push things forward. They tried to, fudge the numbers. I don't think it was management doing that. I think it was the sales team doing that. You guys know anything about salesmen? They're a bunch of degenerate fucking scumbags trying to get their commission on an 8-ball and the cheapest whore they can find. All right, not a lurker. Not a lurker's time wants to go get something to eat, wants to end the show, and I don't blame him. This thing's a complete piece of crap. We just have to see what happens in the morning, guys. But some of these stocks are absolutely primed to move. I mean, even Neo, I think, got a little bit of a boost after hours, like a dime anyway. Knocked it down another quarter today. What's the Neo chart even looking like right now? This is a very key level. I think Neo is going to bounce to the ounce right here. If it doesn't, I don't even want to think about it. I think it's going to get a big bounce right here. This is a lot of stocks needed a bounce when this thing hit, but I don't know if this necessarily affects, Chinese EV stocks very much. Shouldn't. But yeah, I really like the dip on Home Depot, by the way, guys. This obviously didn't get affected by Nvidia, but I mean, this thing was basically, trading up around, topped out, all the way, topped out all the way up here at 423, and then was coming into earnings, it kind of bottoming out at 375, pushed up to 375. And, now you can own this stock for where it was trading. Hasn't even been this low. Didn't even get quite this low in April, but I don't know. I think it's a pretty good bargain right here. It's the same level it was trading at back in 2021. Resistance here several times, 2023 again, support 2024, support above that. So I think she bounces here, to be honest with you. It's a really good company, really good management. I like Home Depot. I've owned it forever. Hasn't been the greatest, obviously, since it's been, flat for the last 4 years, but it does pay a pretty nice dividend, about 3%. And plus, when I go into Home Depot to buy a bunch of shit I don't need, it just makes me feel better that I'm a shareholder. So at least if I'm buying a bunch of, Ryobi power tools I'm never going to use, like 500 different ones. Oh, did you know, honey, Ryobi came out with a power caulking gun? Perfect for me because I have a tiny wang and time on my hands. WHP was 500%. Neo might suffer after Q3 earnings, probably front loading some spending. No, you're probably right, Carl. Procter and Gamble is down 16% or so. It's Procter and Gamble is a great company. Procter and Gamble is really good, solid company, going to continue to make money forever. I think some of these stocks, even if this thing starts flying again, guys, consider taking some profits, on this little relief rally and, get into some of these stocks. So the Home Depot, Procter and Gamble, some of the utility stocks, and get into some safety. Don't leave your whole portfolio at risk. I'm not saying flee like a cowardly cur, flee the battlefield completely, but just be sensible. Don't have everything in, stocks that are going to crash in half if the market goes bad. Have some stuff that's going to hold up. Have some stuff that's going to pay dividends. Have some stuff you can fall back on. So if you have to sell some stuff, at least you can sell some stuff that's holding up and not some stuff that's going to just break your heart for having to dump at the lows. You might as well jump at the Home Depot. You're going to dump at the Lowe's. It's a little bit cheaper. And you can't find anything. I prefer Lowe's. My Lowe's has like 500 employees and 3 customers. You're basically getting like gang banged. Can I help you? Can I help you? Yeah, why are you humping me? It's odd. Anyway, SMCI, not so much. Well, SMCI was up over 5%. I mean, it was already down. It was already down on the day. So yeah, 6.34. I mean, believe me, I'll take it. Any green with this stock. You have to understand, Travis, like this is a stock that market makers are toying with. I mean, look at these moves. You think this is just like, the stock going from 26 to 60 in no time and then falling back to 30 in no time and doing this like over and over again. It's moves to 60. I mean, it's 3 moves to 60 this year. And then, back into the 20s. So I think you have to kind of at least consider the possibility that some of the price action is not completely organic and that they're doing these things to, get money from retail investors who are overly emotional. But yeah, I mean, it's been a train wreck lately. There's no doubt about it. A wanglet and a brainlet. Yeah, well, I got news for you. None of us know anything. We're all just taking our best, our best temperature of the market, kind of giving our thoughts. So your opinion is as good as anybody's. Certainly as good as mine. Anyway, guys, I'm going to get out of here. I really didn't have anything to say in the first place, but Nvidia really, strong earnings. They're up 5. Like I said, I expect SMCI to go up about double what Nvidia goes up, just because I think this is what market makers were sort of looking for to release the hounds in terms of the SMCI stock. Now with SoFi, is it going to hit 30 tomorrow? I think it could. It probably won't. I mean, that would be, a big move, but it's made moves like that in the past. It just, again, it depends. Do market makers say, hey, this is the best chance we're going to have to get all the shares we want before we push this turd way, way, way up? And they're in charge, but the nice part about tomorrow is it's not the bear price fixers who are determining the overall trajectory of the stock. They're not going to be able to control it tick by tick. There's just going to be too much action tomorrow. There's too many people, that had taken money at the top and they were holding money on the side for when this happens. And I think money is going to rush back in tomorrow. And if you're looking at safe places, to put it in a growth name, I think it doesn't get any better than SoFi. If you're looking for big risk, big reward, it doesn't get any better than SMCI. But these are just the stocks I talk about, so it probably does get better. There's probably a million other better stocks you can do, but I don't talk about those. Anyway, turds, don't sub and like. Would like to say thank you to the great not a lurker, J Money. Would like to say thank you to Travis Murphy 9366 for providing his point of view. Great Carl Seamark for making the best mattress in the industry. Julio Martinez, what's up? Wait, what is WHSP? WSHP. I keep seeing that ticker and my brain is not. We Shop Holdings Limited. What is that? Everybody's talking about this today. I don't even know what the hell this stock is. Ushering in a new retail revolution. Okay. All right. Well, God, really, what an IPO. My word. That is a hell of a day. $30 to intraday 234. Wow. What a move. I don't know anything about this company, to be honest with you. Hell of a move. Anyway, ET Val, I agree. Thank goodness. Skating. I already talked about these. Jeff Forin, don't forget to drink some mini water. Thank you, sir. I will do that, Jeff. Guys, I'm going to run. Payush, thank you. Carl, everybody else who watched, I really appreciate it, guys. It's Un Poco Moss. Should be an exciting day tomorrow. We'll see. Um, I don't know. I like because OPEX is coming. They usually like to step on stocks starting on Thursday, so this timing really doesn't align with what the bear price fixers wanted. But can't always get what you want. And sometimes you get a kick right in both balls, and they certainly deserve it, guys. Un poco mas. Thank you. Peace. I'm out.